Hi, this is Walter from LearnEarn, and in this video we're going to look at building a project plan in Microsoft Project 2021. Now, to speed things up, what I've done is copied in a bunch of data, some typical data items that you would see in a project plan. So I'll just quickly scroll down. And that will just help us to build out a typical kind of project structure for us. Now, one thing to note is that I have not made any changes to any of the settings. For example, when we look on the task mode on the side there, probably in most of your plan you probably have auto scheduling, but currently this is set to manual, and we'll come on to those as we shape the plan. Now, one of the first things I like to do is to add in a column to help us structure or to see that project plan grow, develop, and this is called a work breakdown structure. Now, because that's ultimately what you're doing in terms of building a project plan, you're building in some kind of structure for your project, for delivery. Now, if we come over to the right hand side here, and you can see we have this add new column section here. If you click on the down arrow there, you have a search box, and you can see some of the items that you can add in, so percentage complete, etc. But what we're looking for this moment is just the work breakdown structure, which is WBI. Okay, WBIWS. We're in, and what I'm going to do is I like to bring this column close over to the tasks, and we can see that structure being developed. Now, as you probably notice, I've got some of the data items here that have numbers against them, and that's just to help you see how the plan is developing and some of the sections as they develop. Now, ultimately what we're doing is having some kind of header section, and you having tasks underneath them. So for example, the first one we're starting with concept. So we have a number of items underneath there, task. So what I would do is to select both those two items between 1 and 2, those stages, and you have two ways of what we call indenting. So we're pushing those tasks so they sit underneath a header task. And if we go over to the task section, or the task tab I should say, and you come over to, you'll see two arrows here. One is for outdenting and one is for indenting. And what we're looking for here is to indent those tasks underneath a header task. So if we indent, and what you now have is some tasks sitting under a summary task there. Okay, I'll repeat that same process all the way down through the data items, or as we build out our plan, to form what will be our starting plan. Now, there are different ways in which you can actually indent. Now, I'll show you 3 different ways. So as you've seen in the first one, I highlighted these 2 rows and I went up the top and I click on the indent. You can also do the same thing by highlighting the rows on the side there, dragging down, so you're highlighting a section, and you repeat that same process again. So clicking on the indent button here, indent the tasks underneath there, the summary section there. So the other option you have is a keyboard shortcut, like in a lot of Microsoft tools, and you have the ability to either select a section again on the side rows, and you can use a keyboard shortcut, which is what I'm going to do this time, and it is holding on the Alt key, the Shift key, and then using on your right hand side the arrow key, pressing the right arrow indents those tasks underneath their heading. Now I'm going to repeat that same process, but this time I'm going to hit the left arrow. As you can see, it's pulled the indent back out. So this is indent in, which is the right arrow key. Now, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit so we can get on with some of the other structural parts here. So again, as I said, you can rows, you can select the items here, and I'm going to use my shortcut key, alternating as I go down, just so you can see the different way of how we can indent here. Using my keyboard shortcut. And some of the section only have a couple of tasks on them, and some have more, as we will see in a minute. So I'm using my keyboard shortcut. And now the toolbar. Now, one of the sections here you would see highlighted in red with a background on it, and that is a section that you could typically have in a project. For example, this is testing. There's various types of testing, so you may want to group all of the testing on the one, if you want to say parent task as it's referred to. So we have system integration testing, we have regression testing, and business acceptance testing. They're all testing, and what I'm going to do here is highlight the whole block of testing, and I'm going to, again, I can select in different ways, and I'm just going to indent those. Now, what you will see also on the right hand side is developing is the work breakdown structure is building. So what it's showing you is all of the parent task, the summary task, and the subtask that's building underneath them. So for example, this item here is number 5, fifth, if you want to say hierarchy, structured task, and underneath there there's a summary task underneath there, and then there is a subtask underneath that summary task. So if we go right away to the top, we can see the work breakdown structure, and we'll get more into detail of how that work breakdown structure can help us to structure out the project plan, or how to make a reference to it in reporting, etc., as we build the plan. Now, as I said, this is very much a quick summary in terms of overview of building out a plan, and we will get into more detail of adding in logic into a plan in an upcoming video. Now, one of the things I just want to highlight to you is, in a typical project plan, one of the key things that you're working with is duration, numbers, and date. So start and finish date. This is around when a task will start and finish. So you see you have a start column and you have a finish column. So this is where your dates go in here, and you have a duration in here. Now, if you, for example, you could see at the top you have highlighted 0 days with a question mark in there, and this is what project is saying here, or is asking that, should I have some numbers underneath here. So for example, if I was to put in say 2 and 3, you can see that question mark has disappeared. Okay, now typically your duration in terms of the highlighted section there, your summary, should give you a summary of the tasks underneath that. And as we build more logic into the plan, you'll see how those logic actually build. So right now it's looking at the first task in there, and it's saying it's 2 days, and it's not picking up a summary of those two. Now, when we start adding in logic into the plan, you'll see how that summary actually is more of a true reflection, or becomes a true reflection, I should say, of 2 and 5, 2 and 3, which will ultimately be 5 in terms of summary, and you see those come out. So just a reminder is wherever you see a question mark, it is expecting some value underneath there. It's saying, hey, we need to put in some values in there, and I'll just demonstrate this one more time again. So I'm just going to put just some values in here. I'm not saying these would be what those tasks would typically be. Some of them may, but this is purely just for demonstration purpose. And you can see again here this summary task, this highlighted duration section here, and the question mark has now been removed. So what you have on the left hand side, you have that bunch of, if you want to say, the flat data that I put in here. We're now structuring that into a project plan, and you can see that is starting to shape. We've got the work breakdown structure also supporting us in actually seeing where some of those tasks actually, where they sit on how they're indented. So just a reminder, we've got header tasks which are bolded, and you may call them summary tasks, and these are subtasks underneath the summary task. Now working down to the highlighted section, as I said earlier, we have, in this case, we have testing with a number of testing blocks underneath there. So we have now a parent testing task here, and we have a summary for system integration. We've got various subtasks underneath the system integration. We have regression, and we've got business acceptance testing. So we can see how our plan is now starting to take a little bit more shape. And as I said, in an upcoming video, or I should say in a follow-up video, we will start building some more logic into the plan, as well as looking at some of the areas, like, for example, the Gantt chart. You start seeing the bar chart on the right-hand side starting to grow, and we'll explore that more. And also at the top, we have the timeline view, and again, we'll cover this in an upcoming videos. So thanks a lot for being with me, and we will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.